traders of the world. Thank you all for joining me. Welcome back. A little bit of madness has taken place in the market. Just going to give a quick update on what to do. It's been almost untradeable for the past day or so after the Bitcoin crash. It's not really a crash, it's just a correction. But this is kind of good. This is good for positions that we need to trade. And potential longs, we're looking bullish at the minute on the daily time frame. Let me just quickly talk over the dollar index, because the correction we've just seen on Bitcoin was pretty easily spotted given the correlation that these two currencies have with each other. This is a US dollar index, so this is just basically the dollar value. This level of resistance I had marked out as price was rejecting off here, and you can see we were chopping up, just ranging and chopping here, stuck. These two are very kind of, well, they are very correlated. You should always pay close attention to both of them. When the dollar is moving upwards, Bitcoin tends to move downwards, and then when price is moving downwards, Bitcoin tends to move upwards. So keep these two correlations in mind. As you can see, price is pulling back now after we've broken this resistance. So back to my original point, this was easily spotted given the fact we were breaking this level of resistance here. Once we've had this aggressive move up, this was a telltale sign that Bitcoin was about to face a correction. So keep this in mind for future reference. Don't ignore what anyone says. If they say they're not correlated, they absolutely are. I mean, you can see this from the chart layouts pretty easily. So price is moving down now for the dollar. We are supported here. So the upside for Bitcoin may be capped because of this level of support, and we have this clear resistance area here, which is more than likely going to hold. It's not very likely we're going to see price continue below here. Let's see what happens. But as the dollar is falling, we can now look to take a long position on Bitcoin. Down on the hourly time frame, we do have this kind of level of resistance here. We are now stuck on, until we get a push above here. Ideally, a retest would be the best setup to get if price popped up higher. Where's my brush? If price was to pop up higher, come back, retest this area here before moving on upwards. That would be the ideal place to enter here. But if we do get a nice engulfing candle above this level of resistance, we could take a nice long position. In fact, I will be taking a nice long position if either of those scenarios happens. I'll be keeping a close eye on the daily time frame just to see how we close daily. Hopefully price doesn't retrace and just wicks here, because that will kind of show some indecision, which we don't really want. But as you can see, support's down here. The market does have some room to move. Same for Bitcoin. A daily close of this candle also would be very nice and positive for Bitcoin, and I'll just confirm that we've taken a nice long trade if we get this pin bar. Another thing I just want to point out, whenever you get a big correction in the market or a big pump, a bullish pump, either direction, you get these long wicks. Now typically when you get these long wicks, you should mark out where the bottom is or the top if it's a bullish one, because price almost always fulfills these wicks. Now you can see we top down here just above 41k, and price eventually made its way down, and it has acted as some nice support. Price blasted through and rejected back up. The next level, just clone this. Next level to be concerned about is this 40k level here. It's just above 40k, this wick. So pay attention. Price has fulfilled this wick here. It's done the same there. There is potential for price to move down to this support in the short term. We are going to see some kind of retracement, almost certainly, perhaps even just to kind of take out some stops, some people that have shorted the market, get some liquidity and then move to the downside. But things are looking very bearish for Bitcoin, although intraday there are long opportunities with this pin bar. The way the dollar index is set up, it is looking fairly promising. I'm not a Bitcoin bull, like I said, until we blast out the 48k level. We need a strong close above this level in order to call it a bull move. So it's going to be interesting what happens in the next coming weeks. Perhaps we're just going to range and continue ranging between this resistance and support. That's another tradable scenario for us too. If we breach here, reject up here, or any of these resistance, we could short. And likewise, if price fulfills this support, that's another long position. So I'm just watching the hourly, just to recap. A break above here, or on the 4-hour chart, and then we could definitely look to long. This would have been a nice entry off this pin bar here. However, this resistance is kind of proving a little bit sticky. So let's see, potential long for Bitcoin. Just to recap on some positions I did have open, which I do still currently. We have the long swing trade. I covered this in a couple of videos back on our Tron against the Bitcoin. Things have pulled back to about break even. We're just above break even. We did get a nice pump in the direction we needed. I'm still bullish on here. I will be watching this resistance level to see if price gets sticky around here. If price kind of gets some rejections or some wicks up here, I'll consider closing the position. I probably will let this position run into a loss and just keep it open. I think price is very, very well supported below here. So this trade is ideal for us to just let it run and hopefully we get a nice swing to the upside again. So I'm just keeping this one open. We were into a nice little bit of profit, but that's pulled back. Regardless, it's still a good trade. Now, this is the final one I'm going to talk about. I shorted .USD. I did talk about this in a few videos back with this channel here. Once we got a break of this channel, I actually shorted. I did short here, but I had my stop loss above this wick, so my position was safe, even all the way up to here, and I held it and I closed about there. It seems a little bit early to close that trade there, but you're always going to close a trade either too early or too late. There's no perfect time to close a trade, because once you close the position, the market's going to continue moving either up or down. So your trade's going to be too soon or too late, regardless of what you do. I'll get out at a nice time. That's a decent time to get out. I could have bottled it and jumped out of the position there. But overall, that was a nice setup. We just had that nice channel waiting for the break, and you can see price has moved all the way down here. We have found some support. I'm going to mark this on here. Where is my rectangle? There's no difference between using a rectangle like this and the lines. It just kind of gets a bit too plain. Sometimes you have lines everywhere. Just kind of snazzy it up a little bit, and it gives you a bit more of a broader area to kind of have your support level. So I'm not really looking to long this because we've had such a bearish move. But however, if this support holds and proves its worth, its strength, we can start looking to long .USD also, given that the Bitcoin is a bit choppy at the moment. Some of these altcoins are going to be much more profitable. So as you can see, look, support's been working pretty well. Support's been really pretty well there. Have some resistance. It's same thing for Bitcoin. We're just waiting for a break above and to see how that goes. But that was a nice trade for DOT. And I think, guys, that's just about it. Let's just talk over Ethereum against Bitcoin. This pair is looking slightly more bullish, currently at least, just because of this engulfing candle here. This is showing a little bit more strength than some of the other pairs that are also making the same kind of retracement. And we're on this level of resistance here. So two bullish signs. So we break above this resistance and this candle manages to close as a bullish engulfing. That's looking quite bullish for this pair. We are below actually the 50 MA, but as you can see, price is almost closed just above it there. Let me zoom in a little bit. I always use the 50 MA. It's probably the most reliable, in my opinion. So if price closes above this MA, above this resistance, and it's a bullish engulfing, this is a decent long setup. Keep this one on your watch list. And even if Bitcoin gets a bit sticky in price action, this should kind of make some more recovery and more bullish action than the actual coin itself. So let's see what happens with this 4 hour. See how it's going to close above there. This is actually the daily. Let's see how the daily closes and see what happens with price and this moving average. If it closes below this moving average, it's going to be looking bearish, because you can see for some time it's been pretty well supported by it. So I think that just about wraps it up, guys. Hopefully the market wakes up pretty soon, starts moving in either direction, and we can jump into a nice trade. But once again, thank you all for joining me. I know not many people watch these, but it doesn't matter. Small but powerful, you know? Thanks, guys. I'll be back soon.